Ricky Rose, I got you tonight. Ricky Rose, Hot 97. Huh? Every day I'm hustling, hustling. Today we're going to do a breakdown on one of my top 10, possibly 5 favorite artists of all time. Many reasons for him being one of my favorites, but I think beyond the music even, I think it's just a mindset. This man has so many gems in his catalog. He spews so much knowledge, so many facts. So we're going to break down some clips from his interviews to kind of just understand his mindset. The first of these is going to be talking about empowering himself and then the people around him to get the most out of himself and then them.
Staying rich, one of the biggest keys to that is empowering your circle, empowering your family. Because you being rich and everybody else being broke next to you is only going to be so long before you jammed up.
Right.
But if you can make an investment that empower them, they don't need to ask you for nothing.
Wow.
This what I'm finna set up for y'all. Whoever ain't with this, don't even ask me for nothing.
Right.
If you with this, I'm gonna make sure you gonna make more than you would anywhere else doing anything, because you blood, you feel me?
Man, for the longest time I've been told that I'm an average of the 5 people that I surround myself with. So if those 5 are doing well in life, then surely I'm going to be the 6th. And again, Rick Ross, exact same philosophy. He's talking about Wingstop kind of buying the franchises, but he's also talking about empowering those people around him and making sure that they're in good position so that if for some reason things don't go so well with him and he does get jammed up, there's always some people that can actually help and fall back, and he can kind of fall back on them. I think if you're in a position where you're the only successful person and all those around you are kind of starving, eventually it's going to get to a point where you're just going to be jammed up and they're probably going to resent you, and then also you won't be able to ask anyone for help or anything like that. So I think it's very important, as he said, just to make sure that he's empowering the people around him for his own success. And also just for energy, putting that positive energy out there will definitely come back to him quicker. Also, I think another key thing with this is that if you do put everyone else in position, it means that there's not going to be such reliance on you. There's not going to be as much burden or pressure on your back to actually provide. So you won't actually get asked for anything because you've actually given them a business instead of them having to ask you for money here and there. And kind of, I think as an entrepreneur, I think that can actually take away from your brain and bandwidth, and it can actually make you slow down. So I think you setting them up actually saves you time in the long run as well. So that's something great that Ross has done in his career. The second clip is going to be focused on kind of understanding the habits and the thoughts of those that Rick Ross kind of looks up to, the idols and kind of some of the brainiacs that he looks up to, kind of understanding what kind of stuff they wear, what kind of habits they have, understanding those who he can take some of them that he enjoys and he likes and incorporate them in his own life to be more successful.
He couldn't watch how people move because that's what I did. I wanted to know what kind of watch the big homie wore, what kind of shoes the big homie wore, what car the big homie drive. I needed, those type of, but it's different now. You could look online and see how people really move, and what are their favorite books? What are they reading? What are they digesting? How are they eating? And it's so many different ways, for you to lean towards whatever best for you. You know what I mean? So I get up and get on social media every morning and see what are the brainiacs thinking. I want to know what the brainiacs thinking. I'm a hustler. I know what I'm thinking.
Man, I think this last clip was really a testament to Ross's character. I think it's kind of a balance, right? Having that arrogance that you're going to be the best, that overconfidence that you're going to be the best, and you have faith in your abilities, but also having that humility to be able to look up to the big homies that you admire, see all of the different aspects of the things that they do that you want to incorporate in your life and kind of study that. And then from there, you can pick and choose the different things that they do that you actually want to incorporate into your life that you feel like will make you better. So looking at Ross's career, we can see that he's done that with many of the brands that he looks at. He talks about Diddy quite a lot, kind of looking to see what he did as a mogul, as well as Jay-Z and other kind of figures. And from that, he's kind of taken his bits and pieces, and now he's helped to kind of incorporate those and put a lot of his homies on. And then the final clip kind of ties it all together and just brings it back all home to the number one thing that makes him the most successful, undoubtedly, hard work.
You can't cut no corners. You can't go and you can't, it ain't gonna happen like that. It's only one way you're gonna get to it, and you gotta earn it. You gotta earn it. And I did, I wrote raps, I wrote verses, I wrote songs for over a decade and had never earned a penny. And of course, it was
How long you wrote for?
over a decade.
You know what's
You
interesting?
had
Hold on a minute. So you mean to tell me that from 1996 to 2006, this guy was writing rhymes and rapping? To be honest, that's completely new information to me. I didn't even realize. And again, this just highlights the amount of work and dedication that it takes to have that kind of persistence and patience to do that is amazing. I mean, Rick Ross only kind of broke through in 2006, and by that time he was around age 30. So I think, and he didn't really have too much money by that time as well. So it takes a lot of willpower and a lot of confidence and patience to be able to do that. But I think that the moral of the story is kind of just work hard and be patient. I think that's the main thing that that clip is trying to explain. But again, I think that in terms of being successful, that is probably the most common feature of these CEO minded kind of people, just that hard work and that dedication.